is omnipotent, omniscient.
Yeah, either one. And now I need a fifth. I think I'll go with Andre Karolinko. Andre Karolinko, same thing. I love those crazy. You know what? I'm going to strike James Johnson. My final five, it just occurred to me. Dennis Rodman, Tony Allen, Sean Kemp, Andre Karolinko, and Chris the Birdman Anderson. I think those are my five favorite guys to watch play basketball.
Time for the Birdman to fly. What I love about your team is that there is no passing.
No jump shooting.
No playmaking. No shooting. Your team could never win a game of basketball.
It's true, but they would be fun to watch.
I'm surprised. I find Dennis Rodman like completely repugnant.
Well, I mean,
as a player,
he has. Well, that's offensive.
I just thought he was the worst, and I never really got over the kicking the cameraman in the balls thing.
And that was not good.
It was just like such a terrible thing to do.
He had a lot of regrettable incidents.
Yeah,
just that early Dennis Rodman when he was the Defensive Player of the Year. He could do everything. He could shut guys down. He shot crazy running jumpers. Like he hit a few half court shots. I remember like that were stuck in my brain, probably from weird old VHS highlight tapes. I loved. He clotheslined Larry Bird. I mean,
yes,
I love the man.
A lot of people clothesline Larry Bird over the years.
So were you supposed to answer?
I'm gonna step in for Chuck.
Did he specifically? Did the Patreon supporter specifically not ask for your opinion though?
He specifically told me that no one cared.
Okay, well, but
I can't resist.
Everybody else can skip forward a minute or so on your podcast player. But
Mike
John,
Sigerst, not only are you not getting Chuck's, you're getting mine. So this is really not what you asked for. Mine is, and I put them in order. Magic Johnson.
No explanation.
Arvydas Sabonis.
Oh yeah, good one.
I also love to look up like old EuroLeague Arvydas footage. I also had Sean Kemp.
Oh, interesting.
Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah,
and then the aforementioned eminently hateable Larry Bird.
Yeah, those are
my five favorite to watch.
Those are all, I think, spectacular choices as well. I have nothing to complain about any of those.
We also had a similar question from another Patreon person. At Todd Haley, are you the Pittsburgh Steelers former offensive coordinator? I'm not sure. Asked something similar, but with modern NBA players. So Keith, real quick, give me your top three most fun to watch modern NBA players.
Isn't Todd Haley on the Browns right now? Didn't we see him on Hard Knocks?
I think he may have gotten fired, and now it's it's
Jim
Bob. It's not Jim Bob Cooter. It's Freddie Kitchens, former Alabama quarterback Freddie Kitchens.
That's incredible. Well, current guys. Let me think real fast. I mean,
fast as you can.
I love. Unfortunately, I have a one-track mind, and I just think it's Kyle Slomo Anderson on my.
He's amazing
on my my Memphis Grizzlies.
Amazing to watch. You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right now, off the top of my head, I've really gotten into Monte Morris.
Oh wow!
I guess I'm obsessed with him. I watch him whenever he's on the court. I think he's the one of the more fun players to watch, and I watch a lot of Nuggets basketball. God help me. My favorite player to watch is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was going to pipe that in too. Same thing.
And then I also Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
I think the level of effort Joel Embiid exerts on at all times is so different for a superstar skilled big man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Usually you see guys and it's like, wow, he's so skilled, it's effortless. With Embiid, on offense, it looks effortless, and then on defense, it's like complete tenacity until he runs out of gas because he's high as a kite on Shirley Temples.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go controversial for my last pick, Lonzo Ball.
I love Lonzo.
I find Lonzo Ball intriguing, and I stare at him when he's on the court. So.
I mean, he also looks like Alien Nation. He's completely bizarre. There's just myriad reasons.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the Slack. At Leah Marcus Cousins asks, given recent game trends and shakeups over the past few weeks, A, can we still call this a 14-team Western playoff race? And B, how wrong were we to doubt the Spurs ever? And should we ever stop until Popovich retires? I think he means like we should never doubt him until Popovich retires.
Right. Well, so the Spurs over the last 10 games,
insane.
But they're number one in net rating by I think a lot.
beating teams by large margins.
They're number 1 in offensive rating, number 2 in defensive rating, first in field goal percentage, first in 3-point percentage, first in field goal percentage allowed. So that's from StatMuse, who organized all those numbers. We shouldn't have doubted the Spurs, but I still think, I don't know, we never crossed them off. But the first part,
I feel like you did, though, Keith.
I had a guest on Michael Pina from Vice Sports who was saying kind of that maybe they should do a 1-year blow it up, but they have
like
since
the David Robinson thing all over again.
But like just a 1 year, a graceful tank for 1 year to reload the talent. But no, they've been incredible recently.
Still bitter about their graceful tank.
Rudy Gay playing excellent. DeMar DeRozan still has the weird on-off stats where it looks like the team's better when he doesn't play. But
it's weird they added DeMar DeRozan, and then like the team has become more cemented as like go as Aldridge goes.
So right, I saw that the Spurs I think are 13-4 when LaMarcus Aldridge scores 20 points.
Right.
And then that makes them, I think, 6-12. I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but they have a much higher winning percentage when LaMarcus Aldridge scores 20 points. To the first part of Liam's question, is it still a 14-team playoff race?
No.
So I'm going to say yes, absolutely. You go ahead.
Really?
Who are you crossing out where you don't think it's they're legitimate playoff? They're not in the hunt.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
You think so? So the Memphis Grizzlies are this season 9-4 when Dillon Brooks plays. Because I think Dillon Brooks playing is a key piece of depth of having that backup 2-3.
You sure it's Dillon?
Yeah. I mean
100%. Okay.
No.
Just checking.
They are 9-4. I think 8-3 when he plays over 10 minutes.
Would love to know specific. Like, I know this is Keith's small sample size theater, but I would love to know who those teams are.
Oh, I couldn't break that down for you. But to me, that small sample size theater or that just random stat matches up with what I see. When Dillon Brooks isn't there and they roll out these second units of just craziness, like all their second quarter starting lineups that have been increasingly insane, although the streak of 17 consecutive games of starting a completely unique lineup at the second quarter finally came to an end. In the strangest ways possible with I can't remember what the lineup was, but it was one of the weirder ones. But like they always hemorrhage massive amounts of points in the second quarter with these weird lineups. I think Dillon Brooks being back helps that a lot. Dillon Brooks just, if he just plays 15-20 minutes to kind of provide that glue between less Shelvin Mack, less Temple play 30 minutes, not 38 minutes. So I think he's important. So I think the Grizzlies are still in the playoff race. They're only they're 18-16 after a rough little road trip. Their schedule
plus 4 of their last 7 of their last 10, I think.
Yeah. But their schedule lightens up. So I think the Jazz are about to go on a run. I think
Jazz are fine. Jazz are in it. Here's the teams you can: the Grizzlies, the Kings, the Mavs, and the Timberwolves, and the Pelicans.
Yeah,
are BS. They're not real. That's not. Those aren't playoff teams.
I think that those teams that you mentioned, I agree, are the least likely to make the playoffs. The Pelicans really struggling. They apparently desperately need Elfrid Payton or something. Like they're struggling, but also the Pelicans, getting crushed on the road. 4-15 on the road, and that's
maybe the Pelicans needed DeMarcus Cousins.
The Pelicans need Buddy Hield. Is what the Pelicans. The Pelicans needed to never have made that DeMarcus Cousins trade.
Yeah.
I think Buddy Hield averaged 28 points per game over the last 7, 8.
Buddy Hield almost made my list of top 3.
The Dallas Mavericks are the worst team in the NBA on the road. 2-14 on the road, and so that's got to get changed. So that's why they do seem like they're fake. But
a lot of fun, but giving up 110 points a game.
The more Luka plays, maybe you could see them continue to ascend. I kind of think that the Clippers, who have stumbled a little bit recently, even though they're way up in the standings, they're tied for 4th at 20-14, and the Trailblazers, who are 19-15, I don't think either one of those teams is significantly better than, or I think they're in the same conversation with the Kings, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, the Timberwolves, and the Pelicans. I think we're going to see streaks going all through this season. And I think those guys could jostle like about. I trust, obviously the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Lakers, and then I think Houston's finding its footing, and I believe in Utah. That's 7.
Yeah, I like Utah. I mean, I could see a small kerfluffle about the 8th seed, but I really don't. I think the top 7 is going to be very cemented. I think the Blazers could fall to one of the terrible teams we talked about, but the Blazers still they are capable of going on these really insane runs that I don't think the other I don't think the Blazers are good either.
Well, so the Blazers
they can go on these runs that these other teams can't.
I think this is the I'm quoting all kinds of things without any
You are the human Twitter.
Right. But the Blazers are actually, this is their best start through 34 games. And I think in like 5 years, 6 years or something, 19 and 15. So normally this team grows as the season goes along. So, and they have elite talent with the Dame Lillard, with CJ McCollum. Although you're one of the world's leading CJ McCollum skeptics, I believe.
I guess here's what happened. There was a subset of fans who were like, we should keep CJ and not Dame.
Right.
Which made me so apoplectic that I think it sent me into a tailspin of CJ McCollum bashing that he probably doesn't need. But I will say this. When CJ McCollum has a big game for the Blazers and is their big scorer, their big player, I feel like they almost always lose.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like, I don't have any statistical evidence to back this up, but because they're a West Coast team, I watch a ton of Blazers. We have a ton of Blazers fans in our Slack. But I feel like when CJ does well, that's not the best thing for the Blazers.
Yeah, the Blazers are the unofficial team of Fast Break Breakfast because all of our listeners are from Portland. None of our listeners are from Memphis or
We're just a hipstery ass podcast.
Yeah. So like the Timberwolves are still playing pretty well. Like the post Jimmy Butler trade Timberwolves are kind of legit. And even Andrew Wiggins, a guy we could probably apologize to, his numbers since the Jimmy Butler trade, he's at 19.6 points per game. He's shooting 38% from 3-point. He's actually getting like a steal per game, a couple assists. Like he has a positive net rating. This is stuff we haven't seen from Andrew Wiggins. So you
can buy all the Andrew Wiggins, Derrick Rose stock that you want. I will stay away.
Speaking of selling stock, I've actually just received this. There's been an emergency evacuation order for the remaining 3 members of Brandon Knight Island. There was some people hanging on to Brandon Knight Island after his year-plus absence from the NBA. We're having an emergency evacuation of the remaining members. He's 3 for 20 from field goals this season. So far he's still 3 for 20 on field goals. So I don't know.
It's okay. I feel like you left like a lemming, walked off of Brandon Knight Island a long time ago, walked on the bottom of the sea and found Andrew Harrison Isthmus, and you're going to be just fine.
I think stock in Brandon Knight right now is movie pass levels. I think you could buy up.
What a run, though! What a run!
So you don't think it's a 14-team race? I will call
maybe a 10-team race. Maybe
I will call it a 14-team race because I could see any number of these teams if they go on if they go 8-2 over a 10-game stretch, they're back in it, and I think all of these teams could do that. Like,
I just feel like the top 7 are so, and maybe even honestly, maybe even the top 8, because I think the Blazers have a gear that other teams don't have on this list. I think that 8, I think under that line right now, Spurs are 8th at 19 and 16, and I know they're only a game up, but they're a game up on the damned Kings and Grizzlies. And I just think that line in the sand there is real.
Yeah, I keep looking at home and road records. And again, the Jazz, when we say they're going to go on a run, they've been traveling a bunch. And even when they play home games, they've been like doing the one home game and then leaving again. So their schedule's been brutal all season. And they still sit there. They've played 14 games at home and 21 games on the road. So that's the biggest differential between home and road games so far. So yeah, you think they're going to take off, but I'm still calling it.
To me, it's these 8 teams in the Jazz. That's the playoff race.
Yeah,
I don't see the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, also like the Kings could make a trade if they wanted. I don't know who they could theoretically they could get better by bringing in talent if they wanted. I think Grizzlies probably can't do much of a trade, fringe around the edges.
the Kings are getting like incredible clutch play and winning all these games they shouldn't. This is a team that gives up like 117 points a game.
Yeah, they have the worst of all these teams. I think they have the worst simple rating.
Their differential